Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about common gate amplifier. We call it common gate because we apply input at the source side and take the output at the drain side. In DC analysis, let's first make the DC analysis. Capacitors will be open circuit, so there will be no current passing through these sides. Also, gate current is 0, so in this analysis my circuit simply becomes VCC. There is a voltage divider here, R2, R1, RD, and R source. And I know that V gate, I can find V gate voltage. It is equals R1 over R1 plus R2 times VCC. And if I write here as V source, how can I find ID current? V source equals ID times R source. So in ID equation I will write this 1 over 2 UN Cox omega over L VGS, which is equals this V gate minus V source, which is ID times RS minus VT square. I just subtracted here V gate minus V source, and V source is ID times RS. So I can solve ID from this equation, and after finding the ID, my DC analysis is done. I can find collector voltage, I can find source voltage, and that's it. Let's make the AC analysis of common gate amplifier. So how can we make AC analysis? Remember, in AC analysis, capacitors will be short-circuited. So these capacitors will be short-circuited. These capacitors will be short-circuited. Also, DC voltage sources will be grounded. So this resistor will be between two grounded. There will be no current passing through. This resistance will be grounded. There will be no current passing through. So gate is grounded in AC case. So let's draw the equivalent of AC equivalent of this circuit. Gate is simply grounded, and then there is source resistance here, V input, and RK. So let's first find the R input. What is R input? R input is what we see from here. What we see from here, there is two paths. One is RS, one is what we see above. So what we see above, we call it R input prime, let's say. What is R input prime? R input equals R input prime parallel R source. What is R input prime? So this voltage is V source. Okay. And this current is GM VGS, and GM VGS equals minus V source because V gate is 0. So minus GM V source. So if I subtract V source, if I divide V source with its current, I can find R input prime. V source, and this current comes here, and I will take the current goes from here to find equivalent resistance above. So I will take again minus side, minus GM V source. So R input prime will become V source over GM V source, and it is 1 over GM. So if R input prime is 1 over GM, then R input equals 1 over Gm parallel R source. Here this is important, so I will repeat it again. Look at AC equivalent of this circuit. There is our source here, there is GM-VGS here, and I want to find, I want to find, this is our source. What is this R input prime? The resistance seen at the input of source side, R input prime. I know V source and I know this current, this is minus GMV source. This current is GMVGS, but V gate is 0, so V gate minus V source is minus V source, so current becomes minus GMV source. But I need the opposite side of this current. Why? Because I look at this side. What is our input prime? It is here V source divided by minus GM V source current. So our input prime simply becomes V source over GM V source. It is 1 over GM. Okay, we have found our input. So let's find the gain. Sorry, not this. Okay, gain equals V out over V inputs. And there is two paths of gain. One is V out over V source, and the other is V source over V inputs. V source over V input is easy. It is voltage divider. R input, we have just calculated our input value here, over RK plus R input. So we now have to find V out over V source. So tell me, what is V output? V output equals, it comes from ground, GM-VGS current here, and it comes from the ground, so it is minus GM-VGS times RD. And remember, VGS equals to minus V source, so it is becomes GM V source times RD. And then V output over V source becomes GM V source times RD divided by V source, and it is simply equals to GM times RD. Okay, now let's find the output resistance. What is output resistance, by the way? For finding the output resistance, I will read around the AC equivalent of this circuit. We make the, this is V gate, we make the input sources, independent input sources, grounded. So here there is AC independent voltage sources, and it will be grounded. So here this is RK, GM-VGS, and we simply, there is RD. This is V out, and imagine there is a load here, R load, and we look from here to find R output. This is RD. So look here, what is VGS? So can we say that VGS is 0? Why? Because okay, what is V source? Here RK is parallel to RS. Instead of this, I can write like this: RK parallel RS. And here comes a GM-VGS current. Okay, and this is V source. And V source equals GM VGS times RK parallel RS. So imagine now, VGS is equals to minus V source because gate is grounded. So V source equals minus GM V source RK parallel RS. RK parallel RS is positive. GM is positive. So positive something equals to negative something. How can this happen? Only one way, if V source is 0. So GM V source is 0. V source is 0, so GM VGS is 0. There will be no current passing through. Our output simply becomes RD. Our output simply becomes RD. So we have found all the parameters. Our output equals to RD, our input equals R source parallel 1 over GM, and V output over V source equals GM times RD. Remember this three equation because when we solve the problems, I will use it a lot. That's it, guys. Have a nice day. Take care of yourself.